Well, today's a new day in Montana because the Montana legislature has passed a bill called House Bill 168 that now allows expungement in Montana. So what's that mean for you? Well, this bill and now law has created the ability for somebody to petition a court to remove and destroy all the records from certain misdemeanors. This does not apply to felonies, only misdemeanors. Currently in Montana, you cannot expunge any felonies. So what's this new law mean for you? Well, it means there's some rules. The first rule is that you have to have completed your misdemeanor sentence entirely. So that means all the financial obligations, any conditions of sentence, and everything else have to have been done and completed in full. No excuses. In addition, there's a time requirement. It has to have been at least 5 years since you completed all the terms of your sentence. So that does not mean it's been 5 years since you were sentenced. It means 5 years have gone by since you fully completed your sentence. In reality, the more time that has gone by, the more likely you are to get this expungement to work for you. A judge is going to want to see that a lot of time has gone by. 5 years is just the minimum. So another condition would be no new offenses in those 5+ years. So obviously, if you're trying to get your record expunged, you can't be getting more tickets, more convictions, etc. So the rule is if there's any current charge or past charge since the charge you're trying to get expunged, you don't apply. Next comes the need to file a petition in the district court. So this is a legal document that you have to file, and you have to file it correctly. If you file something that simply doesn't meet the district court needs, they're going to deny it. What realistically this means is it's a good idea to get a lawyer to help you and do it the right way the first time. If you are granted the expungement, what will happen is the misdemeanor, the record of arrest, all the legal records, including the court records, will all be destroyed. So that means there's essentially no record that the conviction or arrest ever happened. What it also means is in applications for job employment, you can mark no when asked questions about conviction and or arrest. So it removes that from that. Some other things you have to keep in mind are that if the offense, lots of misdemeanors are out there. If the offense included a victim, then the county attorney's office or the prosecutor has to contact the victim and ask for their input. The judge is going to be allowed to listen to what the victim has to say in your case to see whether the victim is in favor or not. A lot of times they can't get in touch with the victim, or the victim simply either doesn't want to be contacted or has not forwarded a forwarding address so that they know how to contact the victim. All these things can get worked out in the end. One of the things you have to keep in mind is that the judge can say no to these petitions. One of the reasons the judge can say no is if the judge finds it's in the public safety to say no. So that's going to involve some different crimes that you're going to have a harder time expunging from your record, and which this new law expressly lists out that says they are still available for expungement, but the court is going to take a harder look at certain misdemeanor crimes and potentially not expunge them as easily as other crimes. So what crimes are those? The crimes include assault, which is a violent crime, partner or family member assault, which is what we call in Montana a domestic dispute, where there is a physical assault or reasonable apprehension of an assault. There's also stalking, which is a form of a violent crime. There's also violation of protective order charges, and maybe the most important one is going to be DUI, misdemeanor. So in Montana, there are several different kinds of DUIs that are misdemeanors. We have DUI, DUI per se, we have aggravated DUI, and they don't become felonies until you get to a fourth or subsequent DUI. So what that means is people convicted of DUI 1, DUI 2, DUI 3, as well as some of the other ones that are still at the misdemeanor level, they are eligible to be expunged now in Montana, which historically they have not been. In fact, a law exists that says DUIs are specifically prohibited from being expunged or deferred. But this new law changes that. So there's going to be the availability for the expungement of these DUIs, But the judge is going to look very hard at those cases, and it may be very difficult to get those cases expunged. However, not impossible. Some of the things that the judge is going to consider for these type of crimes, from the assaults to the DUIs, is the time since the conviction and sentence. So if enough time has gone by that the judge is confident that you're not going to reoffend, that's one of the considerations the judge is going to think about. Another consideration is your likeliness to reoffend. So that means if enough time has gone by, or you've done certain things to essentially assure the judge that you have been a good person and that you're not likely to commit the same offense, the judge is going to take that into consideration. And that's going to vary wildly among different offenses and different people. They're also going to take a look at what rehabilitation you've done and essentially the length of time that's gone by to give the judge the assurance that you're not likely to reoffend. The reason these category of offenses also are different than any other misdemeanor is a lot of these offenses are considered if you get a new one in the future for sentence. For example, in DUI, if you get a second offense DUI, which is still a misdemeanor, they hold the first offense against you and can sentence you more harshly on a DUI third. Same thing for DUI third, fourth, fifth, sixth. And in Montana, we use prior DUI convictions to lead up to the gradation of a felony or worse or what have you. So it's going to be very difficult to get a DUI expunged, I would guess, without a fair amount of time having gone by and some assurance from the court that you can give to the court that you're not going to reoffend. In the end, if this petition is successful, what will happen is all those records and proof of conviction will be erased, it'll be destroyed, and your record will be cleared. So it's a new day in Montana with some exciting new changes in our law that might give you a change and a brand new start to your day. So if you'd like to talk about this or see your availability for expungement of a misdemeanor conviction, give us a call. We'll talk to you about it free of charge. Our consultations are free for this kind of case, and if we can help you out, that would be great. You can reach me at this number.